I don't have a belief. I mean, I trust science, and I trust we have photos of the Earth. So
you've outsourced your beliefs to a priesthood, basically. Because you don't experience this globe that they say you live on, but they say it, and so you go, well, I trust them, and there you go. It's kind of like a religion.
I wouldn't say like a religion.
Well, I mean, if you're just going off what people say because you trust them, investing your faith in them, it's pretty religious.
God.
Just going off what it's pretty religious.
God. I probably believe in God, right?
What?
If
Sorry?
someone showed me photos of God, I'd probably believe in God,
Well,
right?
how would you?
It's not really a belief.
Yeah, but how would you prove to yourself that they're photos?
How would I prove to myself that they're photos?
Well, because
Not
images
just
can be
photos. They have
manipulated.
videos attached to rockets, and you can actually go and rockets go into space.
Yeah, but it's easy enough to manipulate an image, right? So how would you prove to yourself that's a photo of God? Because I could produce a photo of God for you if I wanted to. I could claim it. I could claim that I've got a photograph of God. I could post a picture of some entity and say, yep, snapped a photo, that's him. How would you go about verifying it?
I mean, how would I go about verifying? I'm sure there's some telescopes you can see of like the first moon landing, like the Apollo.
Telescopes I can see of the first moon landing.
Like the
I don't know what that means.
it's when they went to the moon in 1964, it was. I think that was the date.
It was later than that.
It was later than that.
Yeah.
When what?
Wasn't it like 1972?
Oh, it was 1969. Yeah, not 1964. Yeah, it was the Apollo 11 site.
Yeah, there's a few. Yeah, there's a few missions, but what's your point though with a telescope? What are you trying to say?
Well, I'm pretty sure they have strong telescopes where you can actually see, like, unless those are fake, I guess, but you can actually see the
strong telescopes where you can see what?
Apollo 11 site where they left their equipment.
So we're talking about looking at the moon now, because I was talking about the Earth.
Oh, why would the moon be a sphere and the Earth be flat?
Well, why would a banana be that and an orange be what it is? I think maybe they're just different things. I mean, even granting that the moon's a sphere, I don't know how you can prove that.
Different things.
What?
What do you mean by different things?
Well, they're just different things, obviously. Obviously, the moon isn't the Earth.
Like, a banana is different from
a tree, from a gorilla.
Yeah, but why?
Yeah, from a building, from a car. They're all different things. You know, this concept of things being different things.
If the moon was the Earth, the moon would be called the Earth.
Thank you for that. But I mean, the Earth and the moon are both made out of similar materials.
Okay, well, you're just delving further into your lore right now. I don't know how you would verify anything that the moon is made of.
Well,
how do you know what the Earth is?
We had missions where we went to the moon, and
Are you sure?
I'm sorry. Have you ever seen President Obama or President Trump or President Xi Jinping? How do you know they're real?
Well, they're not really extraordinary claims. Every country has a head of state.
So it has to be
usually a human being, and there's plenty of those around. And I don't find it so baffling to imagine that like a human exists.
What do you mean by extraordinary claim? So it has to be an extraordinary claim for you to be able to have to see it with your eyes? Or have to actually do it?
Didn't necessarily say that, but a human being existing is not an extraordinary claim, dude.
Well, what do you mean by extraordinary claim?
Well, we visited Neverland. That would be an extraordinary claim. A place that you have no access to.
But you've never seen them.
What? Sorry?
I could say that Obama, the president, is an extraordinary claim.
No, people and presidents aren't extraordinary claims. That's just everyday shit.
Okay.
Yeah. That's pretty normal. That's business as usual. People, yeah, not extraordinary.
How do you know it's
Pretty
normal?
mundane, actually.
It could be faking it.
What about like an extraordinary person?
Great.
No.
Is this getting us any closer to any proof that we live on a spinning ball?
So you're dodging the question?
Yeah, I mean,
Extraordinary person? Dodging the question. That's a really
Would you believe in an extraordinary person?
That's a really important question. So I guess you're dodging the question, which is if there is any.
If you don't want to answer it, I'll go back to mutant. That's fine.
Yeah, I don't really want to answer it. It's kind of pointless.
to you because
all good. Okay, so I asked if there's any proof of this spinning, tilted, wobbling globe that you're supposed to live on, and so far we got. Is there are there such things as extraordinary people?
I think you're too stupid to understand the question, but we can move on. It's fine.
Does the question do anything to prove a globe?
Well, I'll understand why we asked it. Is because I said that we have photos and proof of the Earth, and you said, well, that's an extraordinary claim, so we can't. We don't know those are real. We asked you, what about extraordinary people? How do you know they're real if you know them with your eyes? You laugh, but it's the same argument.
You'd have to go about defining what an extraordinary person even is. Like, I mean, it's pretty weak, pretty shaky logic that you're trying to use there.
Well, you're the one who used the word extraordinary, so maybe you can define the word extraordinary.
Yeah, extraordinary. So, like, somebody makes a claim that they went to Neverland or Narnia or some fictional setting like that, then I would say that that's an extraordinary claim. Somebody says that they met Bigfoot or saw a gray alien or a reptilian or something like that.
Why would meeting
place that in the
be an
category
extraordinary claim?
of extraordinary? An extraordinary person. I don't really know what that means. I guess I could call myself one of those if I wanted to. So I don't think that these things are
the problem that you're running into is you're just using examples to describe it, but not giving the rule. What's your rule for what makes something an extraordinary claim?
No, there's no problem there. I think that's fine. You understand what I'm getting at. So, fantasy, Narnia, Neverland, stuff that you don't have any
argument
access
for you.
to.
What is an extraordinary claim to you?
That's fine. I just told you already that you're basically you're making a claim of fantasy, pretty much. It's akin to that. It's on par with that. You don't have any verifiable empirical evidence for any sort of moon landing or any sort of photograph from a thermodynamics violation in the sky of the Earth. So it's just fantasy and imagination. And that's what I mean by extraordinary. So we don't have to derail too hard on the definition of extraordinary. I think you get where I'm coming from.
Unless we see something with our own eyes, can we never prove that it's real?
Well, I don't know. I guess you're just saying that you can't prove that the globe is real.
I asked you a question.
Well, I mean, is that going to be your standard here? We can't see it. That's what you're going to go with? I mean,
I'm going off your standard. That's why I asked the question.
My standard? No, I'm asking for empirical evidence, so I'd hope that you've at least seen it or something. There's something verifiable that somebody's seen that we could demonstrate.
I'll ask the question again. If you're not going to answer me.
Why are you asking questions, dude? Just provide your proof.
I'm not allowed to ask questions?
I don't know why you're asking any. You said that you live on the globe. I'm asking you how you know that. Now you're asking me a bunch of questions. It doesn't sound like you have any proof, basically.
Well, I'm not like a scientist, so I'm not well equipped to know everything about our world.
Yeah, okay. So you don't really understand why you have this belief that you live on the globe. I gathered that from the things that you were saying to me.
It's not a belief. I mean,
it is a belief. You can't validate it in any way. It's just something that you accept.
Validate that your drinking water is safe?
What?
You validate that your drinking water is safe?
Oh my god. Well, yeah, I can. I guess I can drink it, and if I die, then, well, I falsified the claim that it's...
What if it's causing you to die just a lot later than you think? How do you know it doesn't?
I don't know. Does this do anything to help you demonstrate that you live on a globe? Asking me if my drinking water is safe? Like, why even go there, dude? Just give us the measurements.
I don't know. I'm just asking for no reason at all.
Yeah, so, I mean, you're asking because you can't actually validate it.
Well, I can...
So you're gonna just go around and be like, well, you can't validate this, you can't validate that, this can't be validated. Same as I can't validate my globe. That doesn't help.
Yeah, didn't you just sign all your knowledge over to a scientist?
Well, there's a couple things. I mean,
Priesthood.
Just-
That's what they call priests now, scientists, and that's how they get around believing that they're religious.
One of the
But they
things-
are. They just swapped out the word priest for scientist. It's not even what a scientist is, but yeah.
Yeah, they would wear a robe. They wear a white robe.
Yeah, lab coat now, same sort of thing.
but I mean, you can see the other planets, right? And the other planets are all spheres.
Well,
That's not the
a
Earth.
circular. That's a circular argument.
Well,
Other
no,
planets. So I've
I'm just
asked you how
saying-
you know the Earth is a planet, and then you appeal to other planets,
I'm just asking, do you think that-
already assuming the conclusion of the Earth being a planet.
what do you think the Earth is?
Who cares what I think it is? You're the one who made the claim of it being a globe. I'm asking you how you know that.
So you get to ask me questions, but I can't ask you. Okay.
Well, you claimed it, so I'm just asking you how you know. I mean, you can
You said you
fold.
believe the Earth
You
is
can
flat.
fold on the claim if you want.
know the
Yeah,
Earth is
because
flat,
water's
so-
flat. That's easily demonstrated, isn't it?
Water's flat.
Yeah, flat, horizontal. Yeah.
Water
You,
takes.
you,
the
you know
shape
you
of
can
the
say.
bubble.
You know you can
Water
say you
isn't a
don't know
thick
why you believe it's a
shape.
globe, right?
Well, I know for a fact. I mean,
How? What's the
How?
evidence for that?
we have multiple space agencies that can go into space, and
Okay, a priesthood again. You're just going to believe that somebody's done something that proves it with no verification at all.
there's also gravity. I mean, gravity wouldn't make any
Oh
sense.
my god. What the fuck's gravity then?
How does that make things into balls?
Gravity is the bend of space time.
The
How
bend
does
of
that
space
make
time. You got the
things
current
into
law right.
balls?
Right?
I got it right.
How does it make things into balls?
So usually, the bigger the mass is, the more center of gravity it has. So something that's very large will pull things to its center, which is why
Can you
things that are
demonstrate that?
Can I demonstrate that?
Yeah.
How
Wait,
on
did he just claim Einstein and just demonstrate Newtonian?
Yes. He's switching between them.
So in order to demonstrate that, I have to make something so huge that its center of mass pulls it together into it.
Oh,
to a
Okay,
sphere.
so it's unfalsifiable.
yeah, another
Look,
concession,
you can
basically.
look at
You're just
you can
telling us
look-
I wouldn't be able to do it.
You can look at literally every planet. It all is a sphere shape. Why?
All as a
Because
sphere
they're
shape.
very-
Okay,
very
well
massive.
that's nice. Even if we grant you that stuff in the sky is a sphere shape, which
You
you
don't have
can't
to grant me
prove
anything. I mean,
anyway.
you can look at
Even
it with your
if we grant you that, that doesn't
I
mean
don't
the
know if
Earth
you can do
itself is a
that. I don't know if
planet.
you can.
Still got the question on the table how you know the Earth itself is a planet. How do you know it's like one of these things that you see wandering around in the sky?
Because why would all the other planets be like that?
You've just done it again. The same circular reasoning. Other planets.
you
You've
have- you
already
have to explain
presupposed
why
your
that is
conclusion of the Earth being a planet, dude.
Me.
Yeah, he's already
Please
presupposed.
shut up.
So what I'm asking you is how you know the Earth is a planet, and then you go because there's other planets other than it. So you already know somehow it's a planet. How? That's what I'm asking you.
Well, I just explained gravity, right? More
That did
massive-
nothing to
Huh?
that did nothing to form a logical conclusion of the
Is
Earth being a
gravity
globe.
real? Is gravity real?
Now you're asking me if I believe in your lore.
No, can I ask you, is gravity real? Do you believe gravity is real?
What space-time bending and warping? Where's that? Can I see that?
Well, when you drop something, where does it go?
I don't know. Does this have anything to do with demonstrating the curvature of
Answer my
space-time?
question, or are you just going to be a little pussy? If you drop something, where does it go?
I dropped something and it fell down. Where's space-time involved?
Why does it fall down? Why does it fall down?
I don't have that claim. You do.
Why does it fall down?
I don't have that claim. You do.
You're too stupid to answer. That's okay.
I don't have that claim.
Ask
You
me again,
do.
why does it fall down?
I don't know why you're trying to get me to defend a claim counter to yours. Why don't you just
you're
defend
too
your
fucking
own?
stupid to answer. I understand.
I don't.
know why
I'm not
you're
making the
answering.
claim that space-time
It's the way
bends
that
and that's why something falls to the
your
ground. That's you,
natural
dude.
belief is.
Not making that claim. That's you.
No.
Yes. Okay, you're not? All right, fine. Space-time has nothing to do with anything. Don't know why you brought it up. You're not making that claim. But you just told me you're not making that claim.
What claim?
The one that you made of space-time earlier? Now you're telling me that you're not making the claim that things
Of
fall
what
because
gravity is?
Yeah,
No,
so
that's not-
things fall because you have a belief in a magical,
It's not a belief.
ethereal background medium called space-time.
It's real. I mean,
Causes
when you
things to
drop
fall.
things, they go to the center of the Earth. I mean,
They go to the center of the Earth. How was that measured? The Earth.
Are you
How do you-
stupid? Do you not understand what I just said there?
The center of the Earth. How do you know it's going
I mean,
down to
it
a center?
literally travels. It goes on its legs and it goes to the
It's
center.
not really going down because that would be a vertical vector, so it's that would be perpendicular
Vertical
to
vector.
horizontal, right? So it's going inward.
No,
How do you know
don't
that?
understand.
It's going inward to the center of a sphere. How do you know that? Is the sphere measured? Do you have any measurements for the sphere in order to support that claim?
What do you mean the sphere is measured?
Well, I mean, you're telling me that when something falls down, it's actually going inward to the center of a sphere, and this all began with me telling you I don't see no sphere.
Why do things fall down? Why do they not fall up? Or
Why are
do
you
they not
asking me now you're asking me a question again? Wait, why are you asking me this question? Are you going to say that things fall down because they're going inward to the center of a sphere?
not know how conversations go?
Not very well with you. Things go down inward to the center of a sphere. Was the sphere measured? How do you know that? Or is this just a religious belief?
The sphere measured.
Yeah.
Are Earth measured? Yes, it is measured.
Yeah, because I don't know why you would say that, like, I dropped my phone and it's going inward to the center of a sphere. That's bizarre, dude.
Well, it falls down towards the center of gravity, which is in the center of the sphere.
Okay, so
Which is
this
why
mass, we're called a
goes
mass then.
by
So this
himself.
mass must have been measured in order for somebody to know that and be able to claim it, right?
Sorry?
Well, in order to know that there's a center of a big ball that's pulling things inwards, that ball must have been measured, right?
All right, say that again.
No.
Okay.
I said it twice.
I was
That's enough.
reading chat, so I didn't.
Well, gotta do something about that TikTok brain before you get in here, I guess.
Oh, TikTok brain, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm actually on TikTok right now. How'd you know?
I can tell by talking to you, you've got about a 2-second attention span.
It's 2.5 actually. It's getting up there.
So I was pretty close.
Oh, you're pretty close. How many family members do you know? Do they know that you're a flat earther?
I guess you're giving up completely now on the globe.
Completely.
You want to talk about me and my personal life?
Argument. You refuse to answer my questions. So I mean,
I refuse to answer your questions that were deflections from my question to you of how you know you're living on a sphere. Yeah, pretty much. Why would I put up with that bullshit?
that's because I said gravity, and you said it's not real. And when I asked, okay,
I didn't even say that. I didn't even say that. You were just chanting your religious lore at me.
You wasn't real. You were literally just said.
I never even said that. I said that I got no reason.
Space and time. Well, what does that even mean? But and then you just
yeah. Well, I asked you to.
Spiraling. He doesn't even remember what you said, heretic, and now he's spiraling.
Yeah, I know. I asked you how you know that that's the case, that that's what's happening.
I'm actually flattening down.
There's a medium. There's a conceptual medium bending and warping that cause things to go inward to the center of a big ball, and you got bricked. You had TikTok brain when I asked you that question like 3 or 4 times.
You're too stupid to understand. Like,
yeah, have a tantrum. I'm too stupid. It's my fault that you can't validate your belief anyway. It's my fault you have a baseless belief that you never challenged or thought critically about and can't defend whatsoever. It's my fault.
Well, it's very funny because you can't challenge me at all that the Earth is flat. Like, I at least have some reasoning to why the Earth is round, but you just go no.
No, you don't. You have no reasoning. You didn't parse out a single. You didn't parse out a single.
Why do things fall down when I drop them?
That's non sequitur, dude. That has nothing to do necessarily with the shape of what you're on. So that's not reasonable. You're not being reasonable.
I'm being reasonable. Okay.
No, you're not. Why do things fall down isn't even an argument. It's a question, and it's completely non sequitur to the question on the table. The question on the table is how you know you're living on a ball, and then you start waffling about why things go down.
Literally just explained it.
You explained it. You explained the answer to your own question that you asked me.
That was non-sequitur to the question that you asked in the first instance.
So you ask me a question, then you answer it for yourself, and you essentially say, well, things are going down because the Earth is a big ball, bending and warping space-time, causing things to actually fall inward, not really down. Okay, so you just So you just made a circular argument. Well, it's a globe because things go down because it's a globe. Are you retarded?
That's not what I said at all.
That's essentially what you said.
You're
You
strawmanning
essentially
me.
said that things go down because the Earth is a large mass, being a globe, bending and warping space-time, causing things to actually fall inward to its center of gravity. So therefore, you really just said that it's a globe because things fall down because it's a globe. That's retarded, dude. You're not using any logic.
That's retarded?
It's absolutely retarded. It's a circular argument. It's begging the question. It's not logical. It's insane.
Oh, you're way smarter than the thousands of scientists who do this. I understand.
Okay, well, so this would be a question of measurement, not science. You wouldn't apply the scientific method to this, so you're in a
What?
category error. So who gives a shit what scientists think?
Measurement, not science. What does that even mean?
Well, obviously you have no clue because you don't know what the scientific method is.
Well, your scientific method is if I don't see it with my eyes, it's not real. So
I don't have a scientific method. It's
Okay,
the
well-
scientific method, and I've got nothing that I didn't come up with it. It's not mine.
How you know things are real? How do you know things are real?
Why do you need to ask me that? Who cares?
Can I not,
Because he's descending into mental chaos.
I
Yeah,
am.
exactly. Who cares how I know what's real? I'm asking you how you know the globe is real. Now you're asking me how I know anything is real? I mean, I guess that must be it. You don't know that the globe is real. You don't know that anything is real. So you're just lost in the sauce of your own imagination. And I guess you want me to be there with you.
Hit it right on the nail.
Yeah, so the Earth is a globe because it has gravity, because it's a globe. It's retarded, dude. It's not logical. The Earth being flat is a logical deduction, though.
Sorry,
Still haven't said why things going down would prove it's a ball.
Yeah, it wouldn't. You just have a claim. You just have a claim about how things would go down if the Earth were a ball.
Bigger things are the more mass they have.
So what?
The more mass they have, the more center of gravity they have.
So how do you know how big? So how do you know how big the Earth is? Got any measurement for that?
I haven't measured the planet, but there have been people who have measured it.
Who? How? Most importantly,
I don't know the names, but sadly,
what?
I don't know their exact names.
You don't know that the globe. Do you know what they did?
I know to measure the Earth.
Yeah, you don't know who they are. Do you know what they did? Whoever they are.
I know the Greeks did something with measuring like the shadow on different parts of the Earth to measure its its curvature. I don't even know. So I know
Maybe help him out on his Google search, Heretic. Maybe help him out.
Yeah, I'll give you some time to search it up. What they did, whoever they are, somebody in ancient Greece.
How if the Earth is flat, how big is the flat?
You want me to spoon feed your belief to you?
What?
You already believe. You already believe the conclusions of whatever it is they were supposed to have done.
Yeah. Okay. How
now
about
you're
this?
arguing with me.
Got me. I'm a flat earther. Now, how big is the flat Earth?
I didn't measure the entire Earth. I don't know, and I don't know of anybody who did.
All right, so do you think it's impossible to measure the Earth?
I didn't say that. Flat's a surface description, though.
I understand, but why wouldn't we not measure the Earth?
I didn't say we wouldn't.
You're saying we haven't measured the Earth?
I didn't say that either.
So, do you believe like there's an ice wall? Is that what you believe? I'm not sure.
Well, I mean, you might want to check the U.S. Geologic Survey because that's their claim.
I'm asking you.
Well, I mean, that's what they call the Antarctic shoreline parts of it, an ice wall.
So I'm asking you again. Do you think there's an ice wall that covers like the outskirts of the Earth?
Oh, that surrounds us all the way around?
Yeah.
No.
No. You believe like if we were in a plane and we just went straight that we could like go to space? Like how does that work?
No, because
Oh, why not?
you'd just be maintaining your level with respect to sea level, which is a horizontal.
What do you mean by that? Maintaining your level. What do you mean by that?
I just mean that you'd be flying level and horizontally.
And what would
And you
that
would be
do?
gaining altitude over the Earth because the Earth itself, because you're referencing sea level.
If the Earth has an edge, right? Correct?
I haven't been there. I don't know.
You don't know.
I don't know. I haven't been there.
You don't know. Mm-hmm.
Do
Man,
you?
guys are
Have you been out to
crazy.
the outskirts? Have you been out to the outskirts of reality?
I've
I have.
flown around the globe.
You've flown around it. The globe.
Yeah.
Okay, so you saw a globe.
No, I haven't. I haven't been to outer space, so I haven't seen the whole Earth as a globe. But I haven't fallen out. I haven't seen no edges. So
Oh, so you just flew around this place that we're in.
what do you think I meant?
Well, it sounded like you said you were flying around a ball, but you actually just meant that you just flew around the place that we live, which is Earth. So if I just walk around my neighborhood, does that mean
so could
if I
we not
walk
like
around
take the edge?
if I walk around my
what's stopping
neighborhood,
flat Earth
does
from
that
getting in a plane and taking a picture of the edge?
why would who cares about that? What would that have to
Cares
do?
about that?
What would that
That
have to
would be
do with
super important. What are you talking
demonstrating that
about?
the surface is level and horizontal?
What do you? Okay, again, I will say this again. What is stopping a flat earther getting in a plane and taking a picture of the edge of Earth? And don't say it's not important. It's very important. That means we're being lied to.
Probably
Every single
like
government
travel
is lying to
regulations and
figure
just
that out.
general lack of will to even bother. Like why would I go out looking for an edge? And you can't just
Will?
freely roam around. It's not
Just have
GTA.
no will to figure this out. Is that what you're telling me?
Well, it's just irrelevant to whether or not the surface is generally flat.
Relevant? Oh my
Dude, find me
goodness.
the edge, dude. I want to see the edge.
Well, we don't need to locate an edge in order to
You don't
determine
need
that
to
sea
locate
level
it.
is level, dude. That a body of water rests level and flat. You don't need to locate an edge in order to know that.
Yeah, there's no edge, no flat Earth.
Well, first of all, I don't have free reign of
No.
the entire Earth. I can't just go wherever I want. I can't even cross a border without getting permission. So I can't just go to the fringes of this place on a whim because I decided to.
Do you
Probably
think
not
it
a
goes
boat.
on? Do you think it goes on forever, or do you think there is an end?
I would have to travel forever to prove that it goes on forever. So how would I know the answer to that?
Do you think it's logical that anything could go on forever?
I don't know.
Do you think Agartha's real?
No.
I think it's real.
I think it's real like his moon landing mission and the globe in outer space is real.
For real.
Yeah, pretty much. Same category of fantasy. Sci-fi, whatever you want to call
I
it.
think Atlantis is real. That's what I think.
Yeah, you probably don't think anything's real.
I don't think anything's real.
Yeah, that's what you were descending to earlier.
That's true. What if I'm not real? What if we're all in like the Matrix? I mean, can we
Things
disprove
turn
that?
again.
No.
So Mao Zedong, do you have any proof of the globe, Mao Zedong?
Yeah, because at this point it's becoming like a therapy session.
I enjoyed that for my psychiatric evaluation notes.
Yeah, you got your notes, big fella?
Oh yeah, I'm writing a book. I
You
need
write a book
notes, man. About the psychological predisposition of retention of worldview beliefs from childhood that were initiated by indoctrination and are non-separable into adulthood because of ego identity protection mechanisms such as cognitive
It's
dissonance,
too big of
etc.,
a title.
etc.
It's not too
I'm going to make it a better title, dude. That's a working title.
That title stinks. That's shit.
What's an example of that?
The actual reduced title is Globe Cards. Why? Question mark.
That's been overused. You got to think of your own thing. That's also some shit.
All right, Big Joe, you fell
Why?
earlier. Mao Zedong had a question for you, AI.
Really?
Yeah, like an example of indoctrination as kids. Like, what's an example?
Oh, so it's well known among psychological circles and written in the literature that children operate in their early years as if the Earth is flat and stationary. And it's not until they're told the Earth is a globe that they begin to even postulate the idea it's a globe. They then have a dual competing system in their mind where they imagine themselves operating in a flat, level, stationary Earth in the real life. And then when they think about the globe, they imagine themselves outside of their own head, looking back at themselves kind of like at a dream. And of course, that's reimbursed and reinforced with iconographic imagery, right? Like in media, cartoons, et cetera, et cetera. Yet they've never experienced this, but they're told that this is the home in which they live. Now, we all know who study this stuff that kids develop certain knowledge bases at certain times in their developmental stages, right? So, for example, there's a time of a child's life where you could teach them like 5 languages. It's super easy. They just magically absorb it all and they just do it. So, likewise, your home, where you are, where you live, who you are, who your family is, your safety net, all of these things are established at certain developmental stages. And they hijack that developmental stage with the globe mentality intentionally. Yes, that's indoctrination, friend.
It's like the Holocaust.
Well, that dude just left.
Yeah, that was the dude that failed. Mao Zedong, who asked the question, he's still here. He said it's like the Holocaust.
Yeah, trying to bait us into a TOS violation. Dummy.
Where you are in the grand scheme of reality is a metaphysical question. Things that occurred in a historical sense do not even come close. They're not even categorically similar in any way, shape, or form. In fact, your ego identity is imprinted in yourself of, like, same with the languages, like I mentioned. People understand this. There's like a love language or a heart language. The language that you first learned. Like that's, you dream in it. You talk to yourself in it. You understand it on an intimate level, whereas the other languages you don't. The same goes with your home. The same goes with your family, your mother, all these archetypes that are established on your psyche. They're so much a part of you that to lose them is to lose a part of yourself and to experience what's called ego death, which is considered by the sub-rational brain as death of the self. And so you fight against it as if you're fighting for your life. Because you're fighting for your very identity as an individual, who you are, how you got here, etc. Apples and oranges. For example, most people have this visceral reaction about when the idea that the Earth is a globe is challenged, and there's no rational reason for them to have such a reaction. It makes no sense whatsoever. But we all know that they're defending it. It's their reality that they think they live in. No different than somebody telling you that you were adopted and your mom's not your mom. You're not just going to take that.
Yeah, but I could say the same thing about the Holocaust.
No, you can't do it.
I don't know why you keep taking it there, bro. That has nothing to do with the shape of the earth, Mao Zedong. And you don't have to interrupt me while I'm talking, Mao Zedong.
Let me help you out, dude. Let me help you out, dude. Okay, you're too dumb to be here. You were given a hint, and now you're just going to have to be censored. So, goodbye. Man, if only we could have Globers with an IQ higher than the less than average country with the lowest IQ. That would be great. Yes.